It was the biggest game of the year. Super Bowl at Levi's Stadium, packed with tens of thousands of fans from all over the world. The stadium was a massive coliseum of noise, lights, and energy as crowd after crowd streamed in, filling every seat, every suite, every concession line with cheering, chanting bodies. The Super Bowl draws millions of viewers globally, but inside the stadium was a world unto itself, a living beast of human excitement and electricity. Security was tight. Military-grade surveillance drones hovered overhead. Infrared cameras scanned every corner, and thousands of officers patrolled entrances. No one noticed the one thing impossible to scan, the creature that had slithered in with the tail end of the crowd. No one noticed, because it wasn't meant to be seen. It began hours before kickoff, when a security guard noticed a strange signal on a thermal camera, an odd heat signature drifting through the concourse. It moved slower than a human, but not like an animal either. Like it studied its surroundings, didn't panic, didn't hide, just watched. Then someone went missing from the merchandise stand. No screams, no warning, just silence. A few minutes later, another concession worker disappeared. The last thing the cameras caught was a shadow stretching in the glow of the stadium lights, and something longer, darker, watching behind him. Megaphone the kickoff. Worst decision ever. The game started. The roar of the crowd was deafening, a wave of sound that shook the stadium's beams. People cheered, clapped, drank, hugged strangers, none of them aware that something was moving below them. Inside the labyrinth of service tunnels, catwalks, empty suites, and shadowed corridors beneath the seats. Down there, the beast walked upright. Not quite human. Its limbs elongated, skin patchy and mottled, but it moved with purpose, like it understood, like it was waiting. It watched the game on TVs mounted in the backstage areas. It heard the crowd roar and felt something akin to hunger, but more complex. The beast thought, evaluating, learning, planning. Mobile phone the first trap. The creature didn't attack immediately. It was patient. When the stadium dimmed for the halftime show, its movements became terrifyingly slow, deliberate. It climbed into the upper suites, stepping between fans without being noticed, blending into human movement like a predator studying prey. Then the text started. People in the upper levels received messages from unknown numbers. Come to section 347. I need help. I'm hurt, come. Some fans left their seats to investigate. The creature's voice had mimicked the tone of a panicked human so perfectly that they believed it. They walked into an empty hallway. The door shut behind them. No one heard screaming, but the messages kept going. Help me, he's here. The stadium buzzed with game action, but deep inside, the first of them were beginning to die. Brain a monster who thinks. This wasn't a mindless animal. This creature studied people. It mimicked human speech. It could lure, deceive, trap. It watched the game on screens. It knew when people would be distracted, and it knew how to use fear against them. When it called for help, terrified, pleading, voices filled with confusion and panic, a group of fans ventured into the sealed maintenance tunnels beneath section 347, where the lights flickered and pipes dripped ominously. They never came out. Hours later, when security checked the hallway, it was empty. The fans' phones were there. Screens cracked, last message still open, showing a selfie of the hallway with a dark shape behind them that no one noticed until later. Fearful face panic spreads. By the fourth quarter, rumors spread through the crowd. Reports of missing attendance, empty seats, unexplained noises below the stands. Stadium staff tried to calm people, but fear spread faster than the fireworks display. Then the lights in one entire section went dark. The scoreboard continued to flash the score, but every seat in that section was silent. No cheers, no phones lit, just dark. Cameras panned over the empty section. A security announcer nervously came on the loudspeaker. Attention fans! We're investigating a brief electrical outage in sections 332 to 336. Please remain calm. But no one was calm anymore. Axed the breaking point. Some tried to flee. Others tried to stay seated, thinking it was a prank or power failure. But when the creature walked on the concourse behind a group of fans, Upright, silent, eyes glowing, people saw its reflection in the glass doors of the suites. That's when it struck. No roar, no growl, just a crack of bone, and the sickening thud of bodies hitting concrete. People scattered. Stadium exits became choke points. Security teams rushed toward the chaos, only to find tunnels blocked, doors welded shut from the inside by something strong and intelligent. This thing wasn't destroying walls. It was figuring out the best place to hunt. The creature began to appear on the stadium's internal cameras. Not in flashes like a glitch, but in frames where it deliberately stood in view, watching the game replay on the big screens. A row of empty seats, but the shape of a tall, twisted figure sits silently in the shadows. A maintenance closet door partially ajar, and glowing eyes inside. A stairwell where footprints appear, too long, too uneven, almost human. But wrong. No one knew where it came from. No one knew why it was there. All they knew was that people began disappearing in groups. By the last quarter, thousands had fled, but tens of thousands remained. Many trapped, many simply frozen by terror. Messages flooded social media. Help! Trapped in Suite A12. Someone's following me near the field level. I can see it behind the security doors. The creature responded, in text messages to phones in the crowd. Come here. I want to see you. Don't be scared. I'm just hungry. People who went to investigate were never seen again. The game ended with a field goal that should have made headlines, but no one remembers what the score was anymore, because in the final seconds, the creature walked out onto the field, not running, not attacking instantly, just standing under the stadium lights. Its silhouette massive and wrong. People stared, cameras cut, and then the stadium went silent. When it reopened hours later, authorities found rows of seats overturned, chargers and security gear torn apart, festival-style tents collapsed, fans unconscious or long gone, bodies scattered across the field, bodies that weren't just torn, but arranged like a message. And nowhere on the field, not a single trace of the creature. Officials claimed it was a stampede. Experts said crowd panic was to blame. But cameras found, just outside a maintenance exit, footprints that were not human, tall, uneven, and vanished into thin air. The biggest crowd in sports history. A monster that walked among them and left with the last cheers. And the world will never forget the day the Super Bowl became the Beast Bowl.
If you don't like the video, comment what kind of videos you would want to see next and subscribe. I might come back for the next Super Bowl.